So Rod, the church plant's kicked off. They're growing, they're healthy, they're perhaps got their second staff member, but they're growing out of space. Now for a church plant, it's very hard to find the resources to purchase the building or enter into the long-term lease. You're talking about, a significant investment
Yes.
in something that is still very risky, in terms of investing in the kingdom of God. Can you tell us what advice do you have for the church planter who's thinking about embarking on a building program or a long-term lease of a building that will mean they can be established in their local community and start to put down really solid foundations?
I've never really dealt with that from the church planter's perspective, but again, I think the principles are generally the same. I think the difference from off the top of my head for a church planter is that, again, you might need, as well as what you do with the congregation, an external patron to give some sort of kick-starting. However, again, I've included a chapter in the book about how to raise the big dollars, the big capital works dollars for buildings. They're the same general principles, they're just more intense. You normally do a campaign over 3 years, and what is also helpful is you've got to be able to understand just what is realistic to ask for. I mean, if you've got $100,000 coming in as your general offertory over the year, how much could you potentially get on top of that for a building? The figure is somewhere between 1 and 3 times your annual budget.
Yep.
And often 2 to 3 times. So you can have some sort of idea that if you've got a congregation that's giving at the moment 100,000 and you need $1 million to buy some land, you've got an idea of whether it's in cloud cuckoo land, whether you can do it through this congregation, or whether you've got to go and find somebody in the eastern suburbs who really believes in what you're doing and saying, give us a lot of money. And again, it's all part of the same principles, and it's all part of the fact that the senior minister's got to be the leader, and he's got to lead and go out and say, okay, I'm going to do this.
Great. Well, Rod, it's a real pleasure to talk to you, and I want to commend giving generously to people who want to hear about how to resource the local church for ministry.
Thanks, Scott.